friends, it's time for Azban. Azban challenges Boulder to a race. Now, Azban had walked quite a while along the valley, and soon he came to the bottom of a big hill. He noticed something big and dark up on top of the hill. I wonder if that's Bear up there, Azban said. He's probably trying to sneak up on me and play a trick and get even for his honey dance with the bees, said Azban, laughing. On top of the hill it was in fact Awazus, the bear. He was looking down and watching Azban. Awazus was still angry and licking his bee stings that he had from head to toe. As Azban began to climb the hill, Awazus hid behind a large boulder so as not to be seen. Before too long, Azban reached the top. He looked back and saw how high up he was and felt good about climbing the hill so fast. As always, Azban wanted to brag, this time about how fast he was. When he looked around, there was no one there. What he thought was Bear was just a boulder, or so he thought. With no one else around to brag to, Azban started talking to Boulder. Hey, Ancient One, did you see how fast I got up here? No one can beat me in a race, not Bear, not Squirrel, not even Rabbit. Awazus was still hiding behind the boulder and thought this was a good time as any to get even, so he answered, Yes, I saw, young one. Indeed, there are none as fast as you at getting up this hill. Awazus began to snicker but kept as quiet as he could. Azban thought, I really like this guy. Feeling full of pride and wanting to brag some more, Azban said, Well, if you think I was fast getting up here, I bet I can get down even faster. Awazus replied, Oh, I am sure you can. Azban looked around again, but there was still no one around, and he really wanted to race someone down the hill to prove to Boulder just how fast he was. He looked back at Boulder. And said, You have been here for a long time. Aren't you just tired of just sitting around here and looking at the same things every day? Let's race to the bottom of the hill. Awazus, pretending to be Boulder, replied with a smile, Indeed, I have been here since the great ice melted and left me here. I have no legs, so I cannot travel. Just start rocking back and forth, Azban said. Don't worry, I won't start running until after you've already started rolling down the hill. Azban was excited to prove that he could run even faster than boulders could roll. Awazu stood up behind the rock and started to push it, rocking it back and forth while saying, I think it's working. Ready, set, go. The big boulder began rolling down the hill. When Azban saw this, he took off running down the hill as fast as he could. Awazus was now on the ground laughing at how he had finally tricked Azban. Boom, boom, boom. The boulder went as it rolled down the hill and began to pick up speed. Azban finally caught up to it and shouted, Look how easy it was for me to catch up to you. But Boulder continued to roll, and it got faster and faster, and so Azban had to run harder. Azban soon was way out ahead of Boulder, and ever the show-off, he began to run back and forth in front of Boulder's path. Azban shouted, You are no match for me. No sooner had Azban said that, he tripped over another stone and fell flat on his face. Bam! Before he could get up or move out of the way, the boulder rode right over him. Splat! Azban was now flat as a pancake. He could barely breathe. Bear came walking down the hill, laughing the whole way. As he watched Azban, he leaned over and saw Azban's eyes bulging out his head with his tongue hanging out. That ought to teach you. A talking, racing boulder, Bear said as he continued to laugh and walk away. Azban tried to call for help, but he could not get enough air into him to make a sound louder than a whisper. Help! 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 Anyone? Where Azban lay flat was right next to a small anthill, so soon they started coming out of their home to start their day. When Azban noticed this, he said, Hey, you ants, please come and help me. And the ants soon gathered around him. What can we do? Said one of the ants. And why should we even Why should we help you even if we could? Said another. You are Azban. Everybody knows always you are always up to no good. Please, said Azban, I promise I'll be your friend and tell everyone in the forest how great and mighty you are. That you helped the great Azban. So 1,000 of the ants all worked together and began pulling and stretching Aspen back into shape. As soon as Aspen could feel the breath in his chest again and could move his legs, he stood up and shook off the ants. And as he walked away, he stomped on their ant hill and said, Silly ants, the great Aspen needs no one's help. And then he continued walking down the hill, leaving the ants behind, angry and needing to rebuild their home. Tricksters aren't always very nice.